Hello, everyone. Welcome back to North of the Fray. My name is Tanya, and today I want to talk about the masked intentions of a narcissist. But before I get into it, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. And I ask you, if you don't mind, to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this message if you like it. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. I love to hear what you have to say about what's shared on this channel. Okay, so I want to start with this question. Have you ever met someone and at first everything seemed perfect? They're attentive, charming, and seem to understand you in a way that feels almost too good to be true. They say all the right things, offer support, and make you feel seen and valued. But then something shifts, and it shifts pretty quickly. The warmth you once felt starts turning cold. The encouragement turns into subtle criticism. The way they once built you up now feels like they're tearing you down. Have you ever met someone like this? Well, I believe we all have. That's the reason you're here listening to messages on this channel, because you are very much aware of those who roam among us and really don't have good intentions for others. And eventually, these types of people make you start questioning yourself. And you ask, were they always like this? Am I imagining things? Maybe they're just stressed or having a bad day. And because you remember the kindness that they showed in the beginning, you hold on to that version of them, hoping that things will go back to how they were. But deep down, something doesn't feel right. You guys, that feeling is not paranoia. It's actually a warning from God, letting you know that He can see their heart, and He's telling you that their intentions, or what you perceive to be good intentions, might not be so good after all. And the longer that you ignore it, the deeper you'll get pulled into a web of confusion, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. The Bible speaks on this very thing in Proverbs chapter 26, verses 23 through 25. It reads, "Smooth words may hide a wicked heart, just as a pretty glaze covers a clay pot. People may cover their hatred with pleasant words, but they are deceiving you. They pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils." Narcissists are masters at putting on a beautiful mask. They say what you want to hear. They mirror your dreams and values, and they make you feel like you found someone who truly understands you. But that is all a part of the illusion. Once they have your trust, then the manipulation is turned up 10 times, even more than when they started. At first, their control seems subtle. They'll start making small decisions for you, like where you should go or who you should talk to, what you should prioritize, right? What kind of car you should buy. I mean, they have an answer for everything because their goal here is to control. It really seems innocent at first, like they just want to help or guide you. But before you know it, you're actually second guessing yourself, waiting for their approval on every decision, big or small. And after that, or in the process of that as well, comes gaslighting. They twist reality, making you feel like you're overreacting or misinterpreting things. They say something cruel, and when you call them out, they laugh and say, "I was just joking. Can't you take a joke?" Or "You're too sensitive." We've heard those things over and over again when dealing with these types of people. They dismiss your feelings and make you feel like you're actually the problem and not them. And when you actually do stand up for yourself and try to be even more firm than you were before, that's when the real manipulation kicks in. So they'll flip the script, painting themselves as the victim. Suddenly, you're the one who's selfish and ungrateful and just too much. And because you don't want to be seen as the bad guy, you start shrinking yourself and feeling sorry for them and wondering if maybe you were the one that was at fault here and maybe this was your problem and you caused it. So you start to adjust your behavior. You try harder to please them, and in doing so, you lose a little more of yourself every time. But here's the thing. You felt the warning signs in the beginning. We all did. You noticed the inconsistencies. You sensed the discomfort, but they seemed so genuine that you second guessed yourself. So we actually started this process for them, right? We gave them the keys to manipulate us. We give the keys for people to manipulate us when we ignore these signals. And how many times have we done that? How many times does God send us warnings, but we ignore them because we want to believe the best in someone? And the truth is, God sees what we cannot see. He sees the heart of a person, and when he shows you who they truly are, you got to believe him. What you're feeling doesn't need physical evidence. And that brings me to, of course, my favorite scripture I seem to share all the time is Numbers 16, verse 26, where Moses gives a strong warning. He tells the people to move away from the tents of the wicked. Do not touch anything belonging to them, or you will be swept away because of all of their sins. This scripture is so powerful because it is not just a suggestion, it is a command that God gives to move away, separate yourself from those whose actions are rooted in deception, manipulation, and control. Because if you stay too close, you don't just witness their destruction, you actually become a part of it. Maybe you've been holding on to a toxic relationship and hoping that the person you're dealing with will change, hoping things will get better. Maybe you've convinced yourself that if you just love them a little more, support them more, or prove your loyalty, they'll finally treat you the way that you deserve. But my friends, this is a trap. And we've got to see the enemy for who the enemy really is. The longer that you stay, the more they will chip away at your sense of self, making you forget what love and respect are actually supposed to feel like. So let me say this. It is okay to walk away. It is okay to choose peace. It is okay to distance yourself from someone who constantly drains you, confuses you, or make you feel like you are never enough. That, my friends, is not love. It is a perversion of love. That is manipulation. And God never intended for you to live in a cycle of emotional bondage. Walking away doesn't mean that you hate them. It doesn't mean you're bitter. It means that you are listening to the warnings, trusting God's wisdom over your own emotions, and choosing to protect your heart. Because the truth is, when someone's heart is set on deception, nothing that you can do or that you will do can change them. Only God can do that. And sometimes the best thing that you can do is to walk away and let God handle it. Healing from this kind of experience isn't easy. It takes time to rebuild your confidence, to trust yourself again, to break free from the mental and emotional patterns they created. But I promise you this, on the other side of this pain is clarity. On the other side of this confusion is peace. And when you finally let go, you will wonder why you ever settled for less than what God had for you. And my friends, it took me about 5 years to get to this point, 5 years of hard work. This is a part of my testimony. 5 years of hard work after a year and a half being with a psychopath. And it was worth every bit of the journey because I feel stronger, I feel wiser, and I definitely feel more at peace and confident in my decisions. So now when I meet people who are like that, I pay attention to the signs and I close the door immediately. I don't ask questions of God or why can't you change them? Things that I used to ask in the past. I don't ask those questions anymore because I know that God can see far beyond what I can see and I trust him. And so I'm asking you to not settle and to trust God. So today, if you've been struggling with whether or not to let go, take this as a confirmation. It's time. God has been showing you and you felt it in your spirit. Now trust him and move forward because your future is too valuable to waste on someone who only pretends to care. Thank you guys again for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going because healing happens when we support and uplift each other. And until next time, remember, God sees what we can't see. Trust him the first time and stay north of the fray. Goodbye, everyone.